Welcome to today's video, where we'll take a fascinating journey into the history and beauty of the Australian 1-cent coin from 1973. This small but meaningful coin represents a piece of Australia's numismatic legacy and captures the essence of a time when copper coins were still part of everyday life. Despite being in circulated condition, the 1973 1-cent coin still holds charm, character, and plenty of history. The Australian 1-cent coin was first introduced in 1966, following the country's shift from the old pounds, shillings, and pence system to decimal currency. This transition was a major event in Australia's financial history, and the 1-cent coin quickly became one of the most common coins in circulation. The obverse of the 1973 1-cent coin features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machin. This elegant image of the young queen wearing a tiara became one of the most recognized portraits used on Commonwealth coinage during the 1970s. Even in circulated condition, the details of her profile can often still be seen. The gentle curve of her face, the intricate design of the tiara, and the polished look of the background, although now softened by time and use. Each mark and scratch tells the story of its long life in the hands of countless Australians. Turning to the reverse, you'll find one of Australia's most iconic coin designs, the image of a feather-tailed glider, a small native marsupial known for its ability to glide gracefully between trees. This design was created by the talented Australian artist Stuart Devlin, who also designed many other coins in the nation's decimal series. The feather-tailed glider sits perched with its long, beautifully patterned tail curling around its body, creating a perfectly balanced composition. Even in circulated condition, you can usually make out the texture of its fur and the delicate curve of its tail. It's a wonderful tribute to Australia's unique wildlife. Below the glider, the denomination 1 is boldly struck, representing 1 cent, while the word Australia and the year 1973 appear nearby. Together, they make this coin instantly recognizable as part of the early Australian decimal series. The coin is made of bronze, a mix of copper, tin, and zinc, which gives it its distinctive reddish-brown color. Over time, exposure to the elements and circulation has caused many of these coins to develop a darker, richer tone, often with small patches of green or brown patina that add to their aged beauty. In circulated condition, a 1973 1-cent coin will often show signs of wear, particularly on the high points of the Queen's portrait and the raised areas of the glider's body. However, even with this wear, the coin retains an undeniable appeal. The 1973 1-cent coin was minted at a time when these small denominations were still widely used for everyday purchases, from candy and newspapers to small household items. It's easy to imagine this coin passing through the hands of people across the country during that era. What makes this coin particularly special is its role in an era before digital payments, when cash was king and coins jingled in everyone's pockets and purses. Every 1-cent coin had a story of a purchase, a savings jar, or a child's first coin collection. The size of the coin, about 17.65 millimeters in diameter, makes it one of the smallest coins Australia ever produced. Despite its small size, it carries immense historical significance, representing the early years of decimal currency and a period of growth and modernization in Australia. When held under the light, the reddish color of the coin reveals subtle highlights that shift from coppery orange to deep brown. Even in circulated condition, it's easy to appreciate how beautifully this coin was struck and how well it has aged over 5 decades. The 1973 1-cent coin was produced by the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, which had become fully operational just a few years earlier. The mint was responsible for creating millions of coins every year to meet the demands of the new decimal system. Although the 1 cent coin remained in circulation for several decades, it was officially withdrawn from use in 1992, as inflation gradually reduced its purchasing power. This makes the 1973 issue a nostalgic reminder of a bygone era in Australian currency. Collectors often seek out coins from this period, not for their monetary value, but for their historical and sentimental significance. A 1973 1 cent coin, even in circulated condition, can still be a beautiful and meaningful addition to a collection. For many Australians, these coins evoke childhood memories, perhaps of saving pocket change in a tin box, buying sweets at the local corner store, or finding shiny coins and change. Each piece carries a bit of the nation's everyday history. If you look closely at the edges, you'll notice the smooth, rounded rim typical of smaller bronze coins. Over time, the edges may have dulled slightly, but they still give the coin a soft, well-worn feel that collectors often appreciate. The circulated condition of this coin adds character. It's a sign of a life well lived. Every scratch, spot, or dull patch represents its journey through time, and the many people who once used it. While not rare or valuable in monetary terms, the 1973 1 cent coin has cultural and educational worth. It helps new collectors understand how Australia's coinage evolved and allows older generations to reconnect with a familiar piece of their past. In coin collecting, condition often affects value, but circulated coins like this have a charm that pristine examples sometimes lack. They feel real, grounded, and full of stories. The feather-tailed glider design remains one of Stuart Devlin's finest works, a perfect example of his ability to blend artistry with national identity. His attention to detail and choice of subject matter helped give Australian coins